Hello, everyone. This is a short video about DDoS, and specifically, it's for the DDoS in Project 4. Um, let's look at the write-up. So it says that there are two possible types of DDoS attack in the traffic. You don't have to worry about detecting both because only one of the two, you will either see the golden eye or the LOIC attack in the traffic. So you don't have to worry about writing two different rules to detect both traffics. Let's look at the golden eye first. So I provided a link to this web page here. So the golden eye HTTP flood is almost like it's like a flood of the GET request. The key is to look for the HTTP GET request on Wireshark. Since this might be the very first time that you use Wireshark, I'm going to just kind of do a demo on how to use the display filter on Wireshark to filter the traffic. And I'm using the sample background PCAP as an example. So you can do it HTTP contain and then put in GET here to look at all the GET requests in the traffic with the HTTP protocol. And that is pretty much it. And for the LOIC, there are three different types of LOIC attack. But again, if we look at here, you only have to care about whether it's HTTP GoldenEye or TCP LOIC or UDP LOIC. So only one of the three traffics will appear in the evaluation PCAP. You don't have to worry about, oh, do I have to detect both the TCP LOIC and UDP LOIC if it is a LOIC attack? No, you don't have to worry about that. You just need to detect one of the three. This one, or this one. So as we mentioned before that in the GoldenEye, is just a flood of HTTP GET request. And in LOIC is a flood of TCP with the plain text or the UDP with the plain text. And this web page is also the link in the write-up as well. You can read through this, and I just want to give you an example on so here is the example on how it will look like for TCP. So you will see like a whole block of traffic here, and they're all TCP. For UDP, LIC, it will look something similar to this. I cannot really give you the exact example. This is just some sample that I think that it might be helpful for you. So if you scroll down your evaluation PCAP, and if you see like a whole block of traffic that are the same color, either UDP or TCP, it's a really large block of traffic and it contains of the plain text in the info, then it might be the LIC, TCP, or UDP attack. It's really important to identify the protocol here to know whether it's the HTTP, TCP, or UDP. You might be confused, like now you know how to view the GET request, right? But you might be confused, like how do I know like what kind of message it contains? Like how do I know that it's a test message? I'm going to just give I don't know if I can find a good example here, but let's just do this. You can do follow TCP string, and then if it's a plain text, it will like show the test message here. You will be able to kind of read it. But this is just some gibberish that don't really make sense. So just an example that you can, if you find a big block of TCP or UDP, in your evaluation PCAP, you can do that. You can do this to investigate the information in the traffic. Just right click and then follow and TCP string or UDP string. The second thing, we already talked about the display filter, and now let's talk about the frequency. So the protocol is important here to identify what traffic it is, but we also care about frequency a lot in the DDoS attack, because that's what makes the DDoS is a flood of traffic to disable the server. So since you need to look at the frequency, there's a filter that you might need in your snort rule. It's a detection filter. I already provide you the syntax here, but there are a couple of things that you need to identify yourself, is like how frequent it should be, like what should be the count here. Also, which direction you should check the traffic. Should you check by source or should you check by desk? That is something that you need to think through to figure it out. But the syntax for the detection filter is right here. In case that you mess it up with the snort 2 syntax, and this is the syntax for detection filter. So no matter whether it's GoldenEye or LIC, you need to use the detection filter. And we talked about the frequency, and the final thing is the color codes. So in Wireshark, I don't have an example here, but in Wireshark, you probably already noticed it has like different color for different things. Usually the red one means like the traffic is kind of alarming, and the purple ones usually is for TCP. And then there's a light blue color, which is not here. I don't think there's any UDP traffic in the sample background PCAP here. But different color represents like different type of traffic. So if you see like a big block of blue, like the light blue traffic that I showed earlier for the UDP, then that might be a LIC attack, and you probably want to investigate a little bit more. And how can I filter out the UDP or TCP traffic? You can also do the same thing as I showed before in the display filter. You can type like UDP here to figure out all the UDP traffic, the light blue traffic, or you can do TCP to filter out the TCP traffic. There are more to the display filter, but we encourage you to do some Google search on how to on what are the other keywords that you can use for display filter, like you can do a TCP port 80 or UDP port 80. There are many different ways of using this, and it's just up to you to explore the functionality of the display filter on Wireshark. So I think that's pretty much it for the DDoS, and I just want to make clear that you only have to identify one of the 3, and we don't really care about LIC HTTP here in this case. And for your snort rule, those are the 2 most important information that you should include in your snort rule, which are the protocol and the detection filter. And I believe that once you identify the protocol and detection filter, I think that you have pretty much everything you need for your snort rule for DDoS.